1 hour later.
I just want to say, before we get started with this video, it's a dollar store. It's a dollar store, which means these stories cannot be that serious. It's not that deep. It's a dollar store. Hold on, go back. Sup, dog. It's a dollar store. What the hell can happen at a dollar store?
This happened about a year ago when I went to the dollar store. I was shopping for some basic items that I could get for cheap. There are some really good deals at dollar stores. It was later at night and the store was going to be closing soon. I knew that I would have to hurry up and check out before it was too late. I was walking around the store with a basket and had most of the items that I needed. I was just going to go down one or two more aisles. The store was very quiet. I had seen another customer when I first got there, but for the last 15 minutes or so, I hadn't seen anybody else other than an employee. As I walked down an aisle and was looking for toothpaste, I saw a box move. There was a pillar from the floor to the ceiling next to a shelf. Up against that pillar and the shelf was a larger cardboard box. When I saw the box move, I looked closer. I leaned in and then looked behind the box. There was some guy laying on the bottom shelf, mostly obstructed by the box and other items. I jumped back when I saw it because I was really surprised. The guy wasn't facing me, but he had to know that I had spotted him. Still, I didn't bother asking what he was doing down there. Instead, I just kept walking. I got my final items and then went up to the register.
Please.
As I was checking out, I told the employee about the man hiding under the aisle. The employee asked me to show her. I walked back to the...
Hold on now. Hold on. Because the employee can be in cahoots with the guy. Because if I was the employee and you told me that, I would have rung you up and I would have just left right after you. Don't show me nothing. I believe you. I believe you, boo-boo. Don't show me nothing. Don't show me this guy. The fact that you said what you said is already enough. So I'm going to go ahead and bring your ass up and we're going to leave this shit together. Please.
And pointed to where the man was. I wasn't sure how the employee wanted to handle this situation. She walked over and had to move the box to see him because he was pretty well hidden. She then asked the guy if he was all right. For a moment, he didn't move. Then, he slowly got up from his hiding place and stood up. He didn't say a word, but walked past us both and then left the store.
What?
We were both a little bit weirded out by this and didn't know what the man was doing. Maybe he was homeless and looking for a place to stay, or maybe he was going to steal things. Either way, he was gone now.
Or maybe after you left, she was going to lock up, close everything, and yeah, he was going to get up in that ass.
Closing any minute. I got my items and left. I walked out to my car in the parking lot after that. I put my items in the back and then got inside. Right as I was starting my engine, there was suddenly a knock at my driver's window. I looked to see the guy who had been hiding in the store. He was standing right there. He was knocking rather hard on my window as well, so I rolled it down.
Ain't nothing like some good ass oil forcing it down somebody's throat. Cause that's do I need a new word for people like this? Cause you got a cluck ass, you got a clucky, like why didn't you just drive the cluck off?
I'm not really sure why I did. Maybe it was just out of instinct.
No. Maybe it was just out of you cluck ass. You a clucky. Maybe it was the fact that you was wearing Nike and he was wearing Reebok. Them two clutches don't go together. And maybe the one that was the only employee in the store was wearing Jordans. But nobody within a 6-mile radius was wearing goddamn Adidas.
Wish that I hadn't. As soon as my window got about halfway down, the man suddenly reached inside and tried to grab me.
What?
He then tried opening my door, which luckily was locked.
That, see, like, that would have never happened. None of this shit would have never happened if, no, the outside interaction wouldn't have happened. What happened inside the store, that would have happened. That would have happened regardless. But you could have avoided this whole interaction outside. You saw him, you could have drove the hell off. You could have broke some arms, some legs. Like you could have done some damage. And you could have been A-okay with that.
He started basically trying to jump inside of the vehicle. The only thing that I could think to do was to put my car into reverse and get out of there. As I drove away, the man was forced to let go and leave my car. I left him standing in the parking lot. That was a really scary experience for me. Something had to be wrong with that guy for him to act that way, because he really seemed crazy.
He was. And he wanted to get up in that ass.
I'm a female, and I used to work at a dollar store when I was a bit younger.
Oh, God.
At the time, I was mostly working on weekends and some weeknights. The store was called Dollar Tree and would be pretty busy from time to time.
I don't think you say the store was called Dollar Tree. I don't think she needed to say all that. Obviously, it's a dollar store.
I was working as a cashier one very busy Saturday.
That literally looks like our store. Like the dollar store that we go to. Now we have to switch dollar stores.
The store was really crowded, and I was getting a constant line of people in my check lane. We only had 4 check lanes total in the store. My shift was going by sort of fast with me being so constantly busy. I remember that at one point, a man came through my line and started talking with me. He was friendly at first, but it soon became pretty clear that he was trying to flirt with me, but I wasn't interested. He asked me when I got off and to hang out with him afterwards. When I told the man no thanks, he continued to try to convince me. This caused the already long line of people behind him to start to back up. I told the man that he needed to move along and keep things going. Finally, he said, all right, and moved on. I was glad to see him leave because he came across to me as a creep.
Oh. Yo, it's like my right nostril is stuffy. Like, I can't breathe in my right nostril. But it's weird because it's like snot trying to come down, which is, it's gross. I know if you're eating, I'm sorry. But you said you were glad to see him leave. He didn't leave. He didn't leave. Best believe he's still close as shit.
Working, ringing up customer after customer. Hours later, things finally calmed down. It was nice that I could relax a little more now, but the time also seemed to go by slower. It was probably about 8 p.m. now. That's when I saw the guy enter the store once again. But he walked straight towards me at my register. He didn't even bother to buy anything or even look for anything. When he reached me, he immediately tried convincing me to go out with him again. I made it clear to him once more that I was not interested. We were both going back and forth then. Eventually, the man...
You too nice. You too nice. You gotta cut it off at the dick. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I heard that right. You gotta cut it off at the base. As soon as you start talking. Hi, shut up. I don't want nothing you got. Nothing. See, that first interaction, you played it nice. He thought, all right, bet. She's sweet for her. When in reality, you could have been like, the first interaction, you'd be like, Second interaction, you could have been like, all right, mother clucker, I don't want your ass. I never wanted your ass. I would never have your ass. You dusty cluck ass sus ass mother cluck. Gattor was right about you. You a cluck ass mother clucker, Edgar. And you got on Vans. Get the hell out of my store. I shall lock you up for susness alone. You getting 5 years to life.
started to raise his voice. One of my coworkers, who was my boss, noticed, and she came over to see what was going on. Then the man walked away and left before she could reach us. I told my boss of the situation. I wasn't bothered anymore because the guy was finally gone, but I was concerned that he would come back again. My boss told me that if he did, she would ban him from the store.
Oh.
The next time I worked was 3 nights later.
Yep, there you go. Let me wipe my nose. Hold on. I was about to say something. What was I about to say? Alright. She said that she would tell her manager and he would ban him from the store. That, I don't feel like banning somebody from anywhere unless you have a restraining order and this is like a 6-mile radius. You can ban me from the store, but I'm going to be in the general vicinity. And I'm going to just be waiting until you come out. I'll wait 5 minutes, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Boom, 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 boom. 45, 47. Oh my God. Jesus. Yeah, no, that you banned the only thing that's gonna work.
I was working a shorter, later shift, and about 3 hours into it, the guy returned.
Oh,
we were not very busy, and once more, he went through the doors and straight to me. This time, though, he didn't bother trying to be friendly with me or convincing me. He was speaking in a much more threatening tone. The man told me that he knew where I lived and had followed me home. He said that he could go to my house whenever he wanted. My boss then noticed that the man was here again, and she came over to interfere. She threatened to call the police immediately, and the man walked out again. She made it clear to him as he left, though, that if he did come back, the police would be called. After I told my boss what he had told me, she called the police anyways. They came to the store, and we gave our sides of the story. From that point on, I never saw the man again. I wonder sometimes, though, if he really had followed me home. I hadn't noticed, but I guess it was possible. I also worried that he would show up at my house sometime, but to my knowledge, he never did.
But you have to realize, alright, he not gonna be in the store no more, but he can still be close as hell to the store. So it's just like, you go into your car after your shift, you gotta watch your back. And I gotta watch my nose because it's dripping. Hell yeah, no.
My name is Natalie, and this happened when I was in college.
Natalie.
During my freshman year, I lived by myself in a dorm room in one of the freshman dorm buildings. They were kind of on the edge of campus, and within a walking distance away was this dollar store. Throughout the school year, this quickly became one of my main places to shop. Everything was $1, and I could get most of the things that I needed. School supplies like notebooks and pencils, snacks, and things like soap and toothpaste. Those were the main things that I would get on a regular basis. I probably went there about 2 times a week on average. I also didn't have much money being a college student. Over a few months of being in school, I went to the dollar store so much that I would recognize several of the employees. So one night, it was just like any other. I was in my dorm room. It was pretty late, and I was at my desk trying to finish a homework assignment on my laptop. Things were silent. My TV was on, but the volume was super low. I thought I heard like a click noise coming from the door area. I wasn't quite sure what exactly it was, and then I heard it again. This caused me to get up and walk over to the door area. I looked around inside my room, and nothing seemed out of place. I really wasn't sure what could have caused it. I casually looked out of the peephole into the hallway. There, I saw a guy standing right outside my door on the other side. At first, I didn't recognize him, but when I saw his face, I did. It took me a few seconds to place him. I then realized that he worked at the dollar store that I shopped at.
Hell no.
He was just standing there. Then, he tried opening up the door. I was sort of creeped out by this. I wasn't sure if he knew that I was now on the other side of the door or not. I backed away from it. Just then, he knocked a few times. I was too creeped out to answer. I tried to be as quiet as I could so that he didn't hear me. I waited maybe 5 minutes and then looked out again. He was still there. I stood next to the door waiting. Finally, I heard another door down the hallway opening, and I looked back out. I saw the man walking away. After that, I stopped going to that dollar store. The good news is I never saw the man again either. I'm really glad my door was locked that night, and he didn't get in.
These people that be in these situations, talking about, I never saw this person ever again. They saw you again, I'm pretty sure. Whether it's at your job, your house, playground, the beach, hotel, dorm, like. Just because you don't see them, don't mean they don't see you or they stop seeing you. They probably just watching you ass from a distance. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just like, you. Cluck you. Cluck you. Cluck everybody in these cluck ass situations, thinking everything's sweet and everything you find identity. It's not. And it never will be. Keep cool, keep classy, and I love you. Stay happy, my family.